Hello and good evening. It's been a while. It's been about a little bit north of a month since my last video, and today it is December 22nd, 2023. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate it, like myself. And basically, to start, I just realized that it is December 22nd, and I still have yet to sit down and do a review of my channel's 8th year here on YouTube. So that's what this video is going to be, because at least this way I can make sure that I give you guys something to listen to before Christmas, and who knows, maybe I'll find some time to do another video before the end of the year, maybe even a couple. We'll see. But what I'm going to do is I'll do the review of my channel's 8th year here on this video here tonight. So usually every year on August 1st, I go back and I look at the amount of subs compared to the year before and the amount of views and even the amount of videos that I've made. Now, I won't be able to give you the amount of videos that I've made since August 1st of last year, and I'm not going to bother looking for that, but I was able to grab some other numbers, including the amount of video views I've had, how much it's gone up in the past year, and how many subs since last year as well. So, obviously, things are going to be a little bit different, because I guess the term I'll use is fiscal year for me is August 1st, because that is the day back in 2015 where I uploaded my first YouTube video. So let's take a look at my numbers. I'll look at them and read them out. I'm not going to show you my writing or anything. It's pretty messy. So last year, as of August 1st of 2022, I had 65,676 views. As of today, December 22nd, 2023, I only have gone up by about just under 6,000 views, because my total view count for all my videos combined is 71,281 views, which is, a pretty incredible milestone to know that your videos have been viewed over 70,000 times. That's pretty cool. The amount of videos that I made since August 1st of last year, I decided that I'm not going to bother looking at that. I think last year I only made about 35 to 40 videos. This year, if I looked, I bet there's not even 25 videos on my channel for this year, unfortunately. Just as well I don't look. And last year on August 1st, I had 197 subs. In a year, 4 months, and 21 days since, that number has gone up by 15 to 212 subs. So we have now passed 200 subscribers. That happened a while back, and thank you to those of you who have subbed to the channel. I hope you guys do enjoy my content whenever I get around to making any content. So 212 subs, 71,281 views as of today. So compared to even December 31st of 2021, in 2 years, I haven't even gained 10,000 views. So that tells you how much I have really cut back on making videos. And in 2 years, I've only gained 22 subs. And in 2021, I made 100 videos, or 101. 2022, I know I made probably half that at the most, and this year I probably made 25 to 30 videos tops. And if I'm wrong on that, it's probably 35 at the absolute maximum. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn my bedroom light off, and I'm going to sit back. I'm going to talk to you guys about the channel, and we'll talk about me a little bit while I sit here and enjoy this nice cold bottle of kokanee beer. So let me just get myself set up here. I like to put the microphone of my telephone right up to my mouth so that the audio quality is 10 out of 10. So I'm going to sit here, talk about the channel, talk about myself, and enjoy this beer while giving you guys a review of my channel's 8th year here on YouTube. So on a fun note, I'll ramble on a little bit. For the first time in many years, I decided, you know what? I'm going to buy myself an 18-pack of Kokanee bottles. Usually when I buy a case at this time of year, I buy Heineken or I buy some craft beer. I mean, here in BC, we have a lot of really good craft beers, so I enjoy those. And I've really started enjoying them ever since the pandemic started. So I've really gotten into craft beers because I love supporting local breweries. And I find a lot of the times the local stuff is better than the domestic stuff. Like, way better when it comes to beer. But even last year, I decided to buy a case of Sleeman Honey Brown. And I thought that was not bad beer. But this year for Christmas, it's basically an annual tradition where I like to buy myself a case of beer bottles to drink. And usually I like Heineken. Coincidentally, I decided to buy a case of Heineken recently too. Because you can never, if you like beer, you can never go wrong with Heineken. And I decided this year I'm going to buy myself a case of Kokanee because I haven't bought myself any Kokanee in a very long time. So it's been a nice change. But now that I've had a chance to be casual and basically ramble on a little bit, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. So ever since the National Hockey League decided, we're going to throw ads on our jerseys as well as our helmets, I have become very disgruntled as a hockey fan. I know most people just accept it and go on with their lives, but for me, getting me to come back and watch hockey, or at least NHL hockey, I've done it a little bit more recently. I have watched a little bit more hockey recently. But even then, I'm only watching a few games here and there. It's not like before where I would try to watch as many games as possible. Those days are over. Especially with, the fact that my work has a lot of evening shifts, day shifts, morning shifts. It's a mixed bag where I work because I work in a retail job, So working in retail, obviously, there's a lot of times where if there's a hockey game on, I'm still at work. So that's definitely not helped me as a hockey fan, but I just find that hockey doesn't excite me as much as it used to. I mean, the helmet and jersey ads have been a big detractor for me. They've really, I'm probably part of not even 1% of the hockey population that has given the NHL the middle finger and said, hey, I'm not going to keep tolerating this crap. Well, at least to the point where I'm not watching as many games, because I have watched a few more games in the past couple of weeks because, well, I've wanted to watch a little bit of hockey, and it's been kind of nice to see a Vancouver Canucks team that doesn't totally suck. Even though they've been better this year and having their best year so far in a long time, I still have only watched a few games. I'm not going to lie. Well, a few games in the past couple of weeks and maybe 2 or 3 since the season started, if I'm really being honest. But yeah, that's been frustrating for me. I've got to admit, I've been extremely disappointed with how the NHL has not been able to accept that the Coyotes just have not worked out in Arizona. Now, to you Coyotes fans out there, I'm sure you're not going to like me saying that. But The truth is, I hope that the Coyotes can prove me wrong. I hope that they can make it work in Arizona and prove my skepticism wrong. And I mean it. But I'm still not convinced that hockey is viable in Arizona, at least NHL hockey. And, it also frustrates me that the Coyotes get to play in a 5,000 seat arena for 4 seasons, where as soon as other teams like the Atlanta Thrashers or the Winnipeg Jets or the Quebec Nordiques had problems, bam, they were relocated. I mean, I just feel like they're giving a bunch of favoritism to the Coyotes at this point. And, I also find that the game is not as exciting as it used to be. Maybe it's just me, but there's a lot of stupid things that have gone on in the NHL in recent years that I'm not a fan of. Like, I know that most people love those Adidas jerseys, but I can't stand the look of jerseys in general anymore. They look so clunky. And as I say, I'm probably like a 1%er or a 0.00001234110% ter in that regard. But, and Fanatics is probably going to make things even worse. Let's just be real here. And I will give Adidas some credit. Over the years, I have seen some good jerseys come out in the Adidas era. You definitely can't take that away from Adidas. As the years have gone on, I do think that they have gotten a little bit better. Like most teams, when they're redesigning their uniforms, I notice that their collar styles are a lot better. If a team is bringing out a new third jersey, the collar actually looks better. But they still look like over-glorified shirts. I mean, those crew neck collars, they look like they have a hoodie attached at the back that they just don't show you in the photos. The shoulders, the Adidas Prime Green, the quality of the Prime Green logos and embroidery is so much better than we've seen in a long time with hockey jerseys, even better than the Reebok Premier jerseys by far. But I just don't like the Adidas jersey itself. And, if we could have the Prime Green crests and embroidery on a Reebok style jersey template, that would be a perfect medium. Imagine that. That would be amazing. With traditional V-neck collars again, stuff like that. And now that's not the only reason I've turned off the NHL. No. It's the jersey ads, it's the favoritism, it's a hockey that I just find doesn't excite me as much as it used to. There's a lot of different things, and it also frustrates me that now we're hearing rumors about the NHL expanding beyond 32 teams, yet we hear nothing about Quebec City, where, they've got this beautiful new arena in a hockey mad place, and I just feel like they're just being ghosted by the NHL. I mean, the NHL, it's like, I don't know how to compare this, but basically, my best attempt to compare the situation is basically the NHL is treating Quebec City like it's basically the equivalent of some guy hitting on a beautiful woman and her just ignoring him. He tries to prove how much he cares about her and he wants to be with her, and she just ignores him, gives him nothing. Sometimes acknowledges him when it's convenient for her, and then she just brushes him aside and friend zones him. That's basically the best way I could compare or describe the situation with Quebec and the NHL. And it sucks, at least in my opinion. And there's other things. I find I don't like seeing some of the uniforms in recent years either. Some of them are just hideous, or they don't fit with the team that's wearing them, like Toronto wearing black. I don't understand that. Truth is, The Canucks' new skate jersey, it's okay, but I don't love it. I wish that they would have just made the 94 jersey the third jersey and not made a new skate jersey with that stupid agency font on it. I don't like the monochrome decision to remove the white out of the logo. Stuff like that. Like even the Boston Bruins and their 100th anniversary jerseys. Like, since when does Boston wear a metallic gold? They're black and yellow. Black and athletic gold if you want to get technical. Like if they wanted to make a specialty jersey that was black and some kind of old gold, great. But to make a new home and away jersey set for the 100th anniversary that's not a throwback, what the hell? We didn't even get a true throwback from Boston? Like, what the effing hell is that? It just drives me crazy. And by the way, going back to the Canucks skate jersey, it is growing on me to the point where I would rather see the Canucks wear that full time than their current home and away jersey set. But, I just, the agency font, that stupid letter number font that they've taken from the home and away jerseys and slapped it on a skate jersey. No thanks. No thanks. It's like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. And another thing I noticed this year is that the Canucks, the helmet numbers on the skate jersey, the numbers on the black helmets are actually in traditional block font. Maybe they are going to go back to the 94 jerseys. I hope they go back to the pre-92, 90, or 93 uniforms where they had the orangier shade of red, more of an orange red, and the mustardy yellow. That's my favorite skate jersey from the 91-92 season, where they had that little bit of thin trim around the bottom of their pants with little thin red or orangey red or sunflower and rust striping. I think that's what the colors were called. But those are my favorite Canuck jerseys. Those early 90s 75th anniversary NHL season skate jerseys. Those are my favorite skate jerseys. If the Canucks go back to the skate, they've got to go back to those. But if they do take their current skate third jersey, swap out the agency font with traditional block font, and they make a matching away. Excuse me. I'll take it over the Orca. If this means that we're finally starting to come to the end of the Orca era, thank goodness. I can hardly wait. I hope the Orca is finally on life support. Oh my God. I've been waiting since I was a child for that damn Orca to finally go. Now, I want us to keep our mascot Finn, but please drop the friggin' Orca, Vancouver. I'll take a modernized skate jersey. Just kill the Orca already. The Orca logo. Don't get rid of Finn, the mascot. I love Finn. He's a great mascot. He's my favorite NHL mascot. And I bring up mascots because I'm now thinking about the aesthetics videos about mascots that I heard about, but I haven't sat down and watched them. I don't know. Hearing about mascots just doesn't interest me. A lot of the jerseys being unveiled these days really don't interest me as much as they used to either. Even though I thought the Heritage Classic jerseys were really good, it's kind of funny seeing the Golden Knights attempting to look retro for the Winter Classic, but I don't get the hype over the Kraken Winter Classic jersey. All it looks like to me, there, I'll say that in proper English this time. It looks to me like they took the Ottawa Senators Heritage jerseys and played color swap and logo swap. That's my hot take for the day. I'm so disappointed that they didn't go heavy on the barber pole in a more Metropolitans style. Like, I wanted to see more barber pole. This is just an a poor man's Senators jersey, in my opinion. And it sucks because I wanted a Seattle Metropolitan style design with a whole lot of barber pole in Kraken colors or something similar, with a lot of barber pole striping running down the front of the jersey. Kind of basically like, I don't know, the Chicago Blackhawks turned back the clock sweater from the 91-92 season, where it's got all that striping on the front that runs along the body of the sweater. I wanted something like that, inspired by the original Metropolitans sweater from 1915. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I wanted. And what they gave us was just a recolored Ottawa Senators heritage jersey. And if that pisses people off with me saying that, so be it. I'm just stating what it looks like and calling it as I see it. That's all. I'm just disappointed because, is it a terrible uniform? No. Will the Winter Classic look decent on the ice? I think it will. I'd be shocked if it didn't. But I thought that maybe, just maybe, we were going to get something a little bit more retro. And that's something about Adidas that pisses me off too. They always want to mess around with Winter Classic uniforms. Oh, we've got to do something new. We can't do a throwback. Like, come on. In some cases, it looks great, like, say, the 2019 Winter Classic. I mean, the 2020 Winter Classic was exceptionally good too. I love those Dallas and Nashville sweaters. Minnesota, the upper shoulder area with that little bit of striping along the upper chest, like, why is that not connected to the shoulder yoke? Stuff like that just, I don't know. I'm a bit of a details guy. Stuff like that just drives me nuts. And last year's Winter Classic uniforms, like, I loved Pittsburgh's. I thought that the Penguins' Winter Classic uniform last season, paying homage to the Pittsburgh Pirates, was really well done. But that Boston one, why are they putting the meth bear on the front and putting a pre-2020 Vancouver Canucks style word mark above the logo? Like, ay. Thanks, Adidas, for taking a classic team, taking the worst logo that team has ever had in their existence, 100 years of existence, and coming up with a short-term jersey that just was a colossal disappointment. I don't get the love for the 2018 New York Rangers Winter Classic uniform either. Like, oh my goodness. Like, the waist striping, why? It's so close, it's so big, and it's so close to the bottom of the jersey. Why didn't it run down the bottom of the jersey like their home sweater does? And a lot of their Stadium Series designs, Jesus Christ, I'm not even going to go there. Oh, man. And looking at some of the little hints at what their upcoming Stadium Series ideas are looking like they're going to be, holy crap. I'm willing to say this. If I were to be a betting man, I would put money down on every Stadium Series jersey that's about to be unveiled in the coming weeks are going to be hot garbage. I think they're probably going to be a lot of garbage. And speaking of uniforms, I love that the Flyers have gone back to the 80s orange. I do agree it does look better, but they should have left the uniforms alone and fixed the collars. Like, it wasn't the classic 70s style that was the problem. I thought they were fine the way they were, but I do like the the 80s darker orange better. But the problem is the Adizero template makes that design not work as well. I mean, I do agree. I do think that their new uniforms better suit the Adidas template. But the thing is, they look like that late 70s, early 80s era where they started taking the waist striping off of their Broad Street Bully era jerseys right before they transitioned to their longtime uniforms they wore basically up until Reebok showed up and ruined their jerseys in 2007. But my goodness, what an unnecessary redesign the Flyers are. And their jerseys, they look half finished. And another team that pisses me off is the Devils. Their mid 90s, their uniforms they had from 1992 all the way through to 2017 were awesome. They were perfect. And since then, they've redesigned their jerseys to look like they were straight out of the Reebok 2007-2008 season catalog, and they've added a hideous new alternate jersey. The jersey. Like, what a... Like, if anybody who works for the New Jersey Devils ever listens to this video, which they won't, I just want you to know this. I think you guys should be ashamed of what you've done to the Devils jerseys. And if you had to have a third jersey, that first reverse retro you guys had was awesome. Make that your third jersey. The 3 jerseys they've got right now, they need to go the way of the dinosaur. They need to go and become extinct. But anyway, ranting aside, I'm going to try to do this on my second take because, of course, that's another thing. I find that I've become discouraged from making videos because I find I have to take so many different retakes to get a video right. And that's on me. But a lot of times I'll be filming and all of a sudden my nose will be stuffed, or I'll have a cough, or my mouth will be as dry as the Mojave Desert. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, can my mouth not and sinuses not cooperate for 20 to 30 minutes while I make a goddamned video? Oh, that pisses me off. I hate that, and it just happened to me just now as I'm filming this too. But I want to talk about my personal life a little bit here. This year has not been a great year for me at all. I've had multiple family members that have had some pretty significant health issues, which I'm very happy to say that they're doing much better now. Total 180. Everything is good now, but at the beginning of this year, not so much. Also, I've even had a little bit of health issues here and there too, which I'm happy to report I'm doing better now. But even for the past few months, I got to a point where one of my teeth was bothering me so bad I went to the dentist. And last month, I ended up having 3 teeth pulled out. Thankfully, 2 of those teeth were wisdom teeth, and the other tooth was a back molar. But even just thinking about that day, it was really stressful. Like, my mind was fixated. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go have these teeth pulled out. That was really stressful. Throughout the year, I've had a lot of things going on that have kept me busy. One good thing did happen, though, this year. One of my lifelong friends got married, and he asked me to be one of his groomsmen. That was an amazing honor. That took up a lot of my time at times on some of my off days throughout the year because, got to go over to his place, get your sizing figured out for the wedding outfit to wear with the other groomsmen. Figure out shoes, pants, dress shirts, blah, 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 blah. And then, shopping for wedding gifts. And it took up a lot of my time at certain points throughout the year, up until the end of the summer. And, it's been a pretty eventful year. Unfortunately, there's been a lot more eventful things going on that I didn't want to go on than things I wanted to go on, like my friend's wedding. But yeah, I've been finding for myself, there's been a lot of things this year that I've been getting tired of. Like, I don't know about you guys and how you're feeling as of late, but there's just so much going on in society and in the world that I just find a lot of times I sit down and I go, what the hell is wrong with people? Like you see people on TikTok, you see what's going on in the world. I mean, in my country here in Canada, I mean, it is so unaffordable to buy homes. And I just feel like nobody really cares about the everyday person that works an average job who just does their thing. I feel like so many of us are being ignored. I mean, I kind of think that even kind of ties into what I was ranting about earlier with the NHL and why I've been pissed off with them, I just have been finding more and more that these leagues or even companies that I've supported over the years, they don't care about the everyday fan. They don't care. And that's something that troubles me with Fanatics too. You know, I've seen this one Twitter account, Fanatics Sucks is the name, and I've seen so many terrible gaffes, and this big company is supposed to be making the NHL's actual game issued jerseys starting next season. I mean, in my opinion, I'm just not convinced that Fanatics is a good company to be the main apparel supplier for the NHL. I'm just not convinced. I hope that Fanatics proves me wrong. I mean, if they want to start making traditional V-neck collars again and start making jerseys that don't have ugly shoulders and oversized rectangular shoulder yokes in their jersey construction, then I might be willing to give them a chance. But, when they're making replica jerseys where the letters and numbers are falling off or they're not even sewn on, or the numbers are sewn on and they're not centered properly, or the player names not on there properly, or misaligned name and number kits, an Ottawa Senators logo on the back of a Tennessee Titans sweater, just gaffes like that. It's just, I'm finding more and more and more that there's far too many people out there that take the everyday people for granted. I just feel like I don't want to be getting political. I don't. That's not the intention here. But even in my line of work, I work in retail, and you see these shoplifters, they get caught and then you see them back stealing like a week later, even sometimes the next day. And it's like, well, where's the law and order here? Why is it that these people keep getting away with all this horrible stuff? You see shoplifters that get away with all this theft. I've seen a lot of problematic, just bad apples in society. They're just being let out of jail, no problem sometimes. And you get these repeat offenders that keep coming back and causing the same problems, and they're just given a little slap on the wrist, maybe a few days in jail, and they come back out and they keep doing the same cycle over and over and over again. Like, for example, I feel really bad for people who live in downtown Vancouver. Like, crime is so rampant in Vancouver. And even in my line of work, working in retail, I don't live in downtown Vancouver. I live outside of Vancouver. But the thing is, even where I work, even where I live, I see shoplifters that get away with it. There was, up until this one guy got caught a couple of weeks ago. Thankfully, I haven't seen him since. But he was coming in every day into my store to steal the same item for well over a week. And he just keeps, every day comes in, walks in casually, grabs what he wants, and he just walks out the door, stealing every frickin' day. And yet you and me, we bust our asses. I work 8, 9, sometimes 10-hour days. I'm sure you guys work about the same, if not more. and we bust our asses, we pay our bills, a lot of us barely get by, and these same assholes get away with the same stuff over and over and over and over again. And it pisses me off. And I see it with my own two eyes right there in front of me all the time. And it really, really upsets me. And it also upsets me seeing how many people, can barely afford to live here. It's like the cost of everything is so goddamn expensive. I mean, if I wanted to buy an apartment for myself, I'm looking at $500,000 Canadian where I live. It's ridiculous. And I'm not busy throwing away my money like a good simp to, for example, to some woman on OnlyFans all the time. And I hear, and man, that drives me crazy that anybody does that, throws away their money to someone on OnlyFans. That's even something that also annoys me a little bit too, is, I see some of these women, they go on OnlyFans, they don't have to work. All they have to do is show a little bit of bodily assets. And some of them, they make more money in 2 months than I make in a friggin' year. And I work hard. It's just, I don't know. I know I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I've been wanting to just get some of this stuff off my chest for a while because it pisses me off. I just feel like there's so many things that are so messed up about society. I see a lot of crap that's going on in the NHL. I see, even in the NFL recently, I've noticed the reffing is absolute dog crap. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I'm actually a Seahawks fan, for anybody curious. But there was one play where the one player was clearly offside on the Bills, and they didn't call it. And I've seen a number of bad penalty calls, or lack of calls in this case. And it's like, what the hell are you guys doing? You guys make billions and billions and billions of friggin' dollars every year, and you can't get your friggin' calls right? You're not consistent? What the hell? And I don't like what they've done with Major League Baseball either. I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea to have a pitch clock, a countdown for pitchers to throw their pitches, because before it, they would just take their sweet-ass time, and it's like watching paint dry. But, extra innings, having someone just start at second base? No. What the hell's up with that? Just play some regular baseball till somebody wins. Stuff like that, it's just stupid. And screw Major League Baseball, too, for putting corporate ads on their jerseys, too. Them and the NHL both get a middle finger from me. Actually, they get flipping both of my birds at them for that. I just, sorry for the tangent and the long rambling, but there's just a lot of stuff on my chest that I just haven't really said it to anybody, and I've kept it to myself, but I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe this is my coping session tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's the kokanee kicking in faster than it's supposed to. But anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a wrap at this point because I just realized I've been talking for almost 40 minutes, so I better call it a wrap because I'm sure the one or two of you that have listened to this all the way through are probably wondering when this video is finally going to end. So anyway, if you have any comments, feel free to comment down below. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. And hopefully things do get better from here, but truth is, don't expect it. I've got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life right now as well. But I will do my best, and I mean that. So on that note, guys, as I've always said, for as long as I've been making videos, take care, and as always, bye for now.